Your fragrance questions answered. We got a lot of questions to go through, so let's get to it. Make sure you subscribe if you're brand new here, and please drop a like on this video, thank you. Could I wear the most wanted? Either one, I love them both. To school, or is that over the top? Thanks for asking, and good questions. If you would wear the most wanted or the parfum to school, most people who pick up on it would either think, hey, he smells really good, or that you don't. I'm pretty sure it's not common for people to think if a fragrance is over the top or not, especially something that is so mass appealing and smells this good. So like I always say, wear whatever makes you happy, and I do not think you should worry about that. Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette versus Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. So I've actually started to appreciate Acqua di Gio, the OG, a lot more lately. However, between these two, and this is probably going to piss off some die-hard Acqua di Gio fans, but I would probably pick Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense over this. Let me know how you guys would choose between these two in the comments. And make sure you check out my recent Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette review. Prada L'Homme versus Prada L'Homme Intense. Do I think it's redundant to on both? So questions about something being redundant or not are so hard to answer, because I really think it comes down to how much you love a particular scent or a particular kind of scent. But with that said, when it comes to these two, I think that if you do not love powdery fragrances, then yeah, it's probably redundant to own both. But if you absolutely love powdery fragrances, then I actually do not feel it's redundant to own both. While both of these share that Prada L'Homme DNA, I do feel these two are actually quite different. L'Homme is a fresher take on that powdery DNA, whereas Prada L'Homme Intense is a bit sort of a darker and in a way a bit more sort of edgy, while still having that feeling of class and elegance. Is Armani strong with you? Absolutely beast mode. So I'm rating the performance when it comes to both longevity and projection 8 out of 10. So strong with you? Absolutely. At least on my skin is definitely above average. It is quite strong, but it's not beast mode. So which Dior Sauvage do I prefer for summer? So the two that I feel are the best for summer are definitely Sauvage Eau de Parfum and the OG Eau de Toilette. But my overall favorite, most versatile Sauvage to use throughout the year, including summer, is definitely Sauvage Eau de Parfum. So for like summer days, Sauvage Eau de Parfum for sure. Now I know this will be blasphemy to some, but I warn Sauvage Elixir on summer nights, and it's an absolute banger of a compliment getting on summer nights. But for warmer days, Sauvage Eau de Parfum for sure. Where would you put the new Ivory limited edition? So I bought Born in Roma Ivory after I did my full Valentino Uomo comparison. I'm gonna link to that comparison somewhere up here and in the description below, and I highly recommend to check that one out. This has definitely grown on me since I bought it. The drawdown of Ivory is a gorgeous one and definitely a compliment getting one, but even so, I don't think I would change my current top 3 Uomo because of this release, and I probably would not change my top 5. Maybe I would squeeze this, the Ivory, in somewhere between 7 and 5. Quite hard to answer without comparing them all side by side, but this would definitely not crack my top 3. Armaf Club Nuit Intense Man or Montblanc Explorer? Great question. So I really need to do a proper comparison between these two. Let me know in the comments if you think I should do that. Both of these are basically doing the same thing, and they are both heavily inspired by Creed Aventus. I think the safest one, if you're not sure, is probably Montblanc Explorer. It's basically a well-balanced and mass-appealing take on that Creed Aventus DNA. And I do feel it's pretty hard to go wrong with Explorer. But if I would choose just one of these two, I would actually go with Club de Nuit, and especially the limited edition. It pretty much does the same thing, but to my nose, this packs more of a punch. The performance is a lot better, and I simply do enjoy this one more. Explorer is definitely not as loud, so if that sounds good to you, then yeah, it's probably this one. I personally do enjoy both, but I absolutely love Club de Nuit. Got a compliment for Paradise Garden, but I felt Le Beau Parfum is better, and I can wear it in summer and winters as well. What do you think, guys? Both of these, at least to my nose, share that fantastic epic Le Beau DNA, but in quite different ways. I highly recommend to check out my Le Beau comparison, but when it comes to these two, all I'm gonna say is this. I think both of these smell great, and like always, go with the one you enjoy the most. I think it's hard to go wrong with any of these. So does Born in Roma Intense have good performance and longevity? So I rate the performance of Born in Roma Intense somewhere between 6.5 to 7, both when it comes to projection and longevity. So Born in Roma Intense, at least on my skin, is definitely above average, but I do not feel this is a super strong scent. Like always when it comes to fragrances, different scents develop in different ways on different people. However, on my skin, this is not a strong one, but I do know some of my subscribers get better performance from this. I can't decide between these three, they smell too similar to my nose. Good question. So between Le Male Elixir and the newer Le Male Elixir Absolu, I'm going to go with Le Male Elixir. Comparing Le Male Elixir with the OG Le Male is a different thing, because these two are so different. And if you're having a hard time deciding between these, I would say like this. If you want something that is a bit sort of heavier, deeper, richer and sweeter, definitely go with Le Male Elixir. The OG is so underrated though. What an epic and actually more versatile compliment this one is. So if you prefer something more fresh and a bit more versatile, then it's probably the OG Le Male. I think both of these are absolutely fantastic though, and I do feel it's hard to go wrong with either. Lattafa Khamra Dukhan versus Lattafa Khamra Qahwa, which feels louder and projecting more. So I talked about these in my Khamra Qahwa versus Dukhan video. I'm gonna link to it somewhere up here and in the description below. Some days I feel Dukhan wins, but definitely not by much. And some days I feel Qahwa is the stronger one. So probably not the answer you're looking for, but I'm actually having a hard time seeing a massive difference between these two when it comes to performance. Let me know your thoughts on the performance of these two in the comments. My white elixir has been sitting for around 8 months and now it has a much more smell. Could it be possible? Yes, definitely. And that's not just a thing with this fragrance, but it goes for a lot of other fragrances as well. So most of my fragrances change at least a little bit, sometimes a lot, with a bit of what I call usage. Basically, the more I use them, the more I let them sort of breathe, the more they develop. Some fragrances just change a little bit, while some change a lot. And it's actually a bit more common with some of my cheaper ones and some of the fragrances I have that are dupes. So when you're asking me, could it be possible? Then yeah. Can I layer Boss Bottle Parfum with something sweet like Kilian Inge's Share to help balance their leather? So I absolutely love layering fragrances. Layering Boss Bottle Parfum with something sweet might help balance their leather. A bit of vanilla and a bit of sweetness will definitely help balance Boss Bottle Parfum's leather. However, I also suggest trying out something aromatic. Something with lavender or sage, or the combo of lavender and sage will give this a bit of aromatic freshness and brightness. And that will give this a different and a bit more sort of a balanced feel for sure. What I love about layering is that there are really no rules. So just try something out and see how it develops. How many sprays of Prada Homme Intense to be the king? I would go with at least 5 sprays of Homme Intense. I usually though end up around 7 or 9 with this. At least if I'm going out, I want to get noticed and want it to last. But like always, try for yourself and see how it develops on you. So I got this question on my Bath the Scent comparison and rank video, which I'm going to link to somewhere up here and in the description below. So make sure you check that video out. Which one would you recommend to wear with the suit? So you could actually go with several ones in the line. The Le Parfum is extremely classy and elegant, but I do know that the leather in it is not for everyone. But I think it goes perfect with a suit and tie. I think the powdered vanilla magnetic goes equally well for like formal occasions as it does for casual ones. But I mean, the Elixir is to me like the perfect mix of class and elegance and sexiness. So it's probably mostly between these two, depending on which one you enjoy the most. Do you still not like it, bro? No, I don't. I still do not enjoy Black Aoud. So this was an interesting question. 9 p.m. or Lattafa Asad Bourbon. So I have actually not compared these two until I got this question, and I gotta say, just by quickly trying them out side by side, I do prefer Lattafa Asad Bourbon. They are not the same though, and I think 9 p.m. is a fantastic fragrance. What a compliment this one is. But when I quickly compare the two, I do think I prefer bourbon. But like always, go with the one you enjoy the most. So what did you buy from Antidotes? I bought 2 bottles of this gorgeous thing, the Speakeasy. This is definitely, at least to my nose, one of the absolute best from Antidotes. Review coming up soon for sure, but I do recommend to check out my current favorites that I released like 2 or 3 weeks ago for more on this. Armani Stronger With You Tobacco, does it last, and Project a While. So I'm rating the performance of Armani Stronger With Tobacco 8, both when it comes to projection and longevity. So at least on my skin, the performance of Armani Stronger With Tobacco is definitely something that is quite strong, but I do not feel this is a beast mode kind of scent. What do you layer with the original Armani Stronger With You? So this was a question on my Armani Stronger With You rank. I'm gonna link to that video somewhere up here and in the description below. So the original Armani Stronger With You is a great fragrance on its own, but I'm mostly for the last year or two been using it for layering? And I guess the answer is, what do I not layer it with? The OG Strong With You smells so good in so many different fragrance layering combinations, and I do feel this just adds something fantastic to a lot of combos. I haven't really tried layering it with Freshies though. I've talked about different fragrance layering combinations with the OG EDT in other videos, but I think you should just try and have fun and explore different fantastic combinations with it. Let me know your best ones in the comments. Do you think Valentino Intense gets more compliments than Extra Dose? So I want to start out by saying that Born in Roma Extra Dose is extremely mass appealing, but OG subscribers to my channel know what I call Valentino Uomo Intense. What an absolute banger of a compliment getter Uomo Intense is, and Born in Roma Intense is an extremely mass appealing compliment getter. Both of these get more compliments than Extra Dose, but like I said, Uomo Extra Dose is definitely a mass appealing fragrance, and Uomo Intense is definitely the darkest and edgiest out of the three. Could Born in Roma be worn every season? So I talk about the most versatile ones in the Valentino Uomo line in my Valentino Uomo rank video, so make sure you check that video out. Born in Roma Deity is definitely among the most versatile ones in the Uomo line. I think it's a great choice as an everyday fragrance to use throughout the year. Is it redundant to own the Extreme and Society Ambrée? So again, questions about something being redundant or not are so hard to answer. In this case, I think it comes down to how much you love that sort of a gentleman society DNA. Society Ambrée is basically simplified the tobacco version of that DNA. Society Extreme is the coffee focused version of that DNA. So if it's redundant to own both or not is so subjective, but I think that if you absolutely love that Society DNA, then it's not. The Extreme is still my absolute favorite in the Society line. Ambrée has definitely grown on me a lot lately. Sauvage Eau de Parfum or Montblanc Explorer, which is better? So this is so subjective. I think both are great, and I do think both are great for everyday use, but they are different for sure. But if I would choose between these two, I would definitely go with Sauvage Eau de Parfum. But like always, go with the one you enjoy the most. Does Dior Homme Intense still get those compliments? This is still a head turner, and I still get compliments with it. Which Valentino Uomo is the best for hot and humid weather? So this is a question I got on my Valentino Uomo rank video, so make sure you check that video out. I would go with the freshest and most versatile ones in that line, which is Born in Roma, the OG EDT, Born in Roma Extra Dose, and Rockstar Noir. Do women love Kilian Angel share? So I know some guys absolutely hate Kilian Angel share, but in my experience with Kilian Angel share, this is an epic head turner and definitely a compliment getting kind of scent. I would love to hear your experience with Angel share. Is this a compliment getting kind of scent to you? Let me know in the comments. Which of these is more similar to Louis Vuitton Imagination? So I think there are similarities for sure. However, I do not feel any of these two is exactly the same as Louis Vuitton Imagination. But with that said, the one with the most similarities to it is probably the OG Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes. Valentino Uomo Intense or the normal one, I do think the OG smells really, really good. However, I call this the sex bomb. So yeah, definitely this. Make sure you drop your fragrance questions in the comments below. Please drop a like and subscribe for more. Make sure you check out my other fragrance videos over there, and I'll see you in the next one.